Hello everyone and welcome to the Drivers Room Endurance Championship Season 4 Round 6 Tier 1. I am your host Kimaru. Coming to you today is the Tokyo Expressway Inner Loop, or Central Inner Loop, I believe it was. We are in the GR4 machines today and let's see how everyone did in the qualifiers. We have Nitro Smith in pole, Mr. Drift King Alex, Quackmaster Plucks the Duck, Mr. Sean, DJ Rice. We have Gadget. Are you ready, Ben? Muller and his crew, pit crew. Lorcas, Lionessy, and Mr. Senna finishing off the field in the back. Let's get down to business. Alright, here we go, waiting on the green lights, and we are off on round 6, Tokyo Expressway Central Inner Loop, and we are off. Very good start from Smith, as expected in that little pocket rocket. Alex following closely. We have Sean, Gadget, Lorcas, Ricey, Lanasty, Ben, and Muller and Senna. Let's keep watch with the front guys. My nose is acting up a little bit today, so sorry for any strange tones in my voice. As we see Plux trying to stick with Alex. Very narrow track, very easy to get damage in Tier 1 if they smack the wall a little bit too hard. But it does look like everyone has gotten through cleanly. Not very easy to pass on this track either. Smithy's gotten himself a good gap down to the Spice Boys. Sean sticking with the Spice Boys. Gadget is in 5th, trying to catch up to the pockets. Lorcas, that 4-wheel drive system is probably going to struggle a little bit when tire wear comes into consideration. Ricey. We have Lionessy. Oh, getting close to the wall. Looks like Muller. I don't know, past Ben. Oh! Lionessy struggling to keep these 3 guys behind. Looks like Muller's going for a move on Nessie, but he still hasn't gotten the gap he wants. And Ben is looking for a move on Muller, but that rocket will just power out once it gets its grip down. We have Senna sticking with Ben now. That GT86 is quite good at cornering sections, but might struggle to keep up in the power sections. As we see, Lionessy is under attack from Muller, and Linus manages to stay away from damage as we see Muller passing Linus and moves himself up into 8th. Oh no, and Linus, he smacks into the wall and loses positions. Oh, that's how easy it can go. Got squeezed by Muller. Muller got some damage as well. And Linus, he threw in the towel. That's yeah, that's a little fast after 4 laps. As we come back to the leader, Smithy has gotten himself a good gap down to Alex. Maybe just over a second now. Down to Alex. And Alex has gotten himself a big gap down to the Quackmaster Plugs. So we see Sean. He's trying to utilize that front-wheel drive power. But the biggest problem of the front-wheel drives is that they will, whoa, scratching some paint there. They will burn out their fronts quite fast compared to the other cars. But then again, they have a lot of power in their engine. As we see Gadget just trying to stay ahead of Lorcas. Very difficult to find a good overtaking spot on this track. But it can be done if you're patient. At least this is a track that Jason could be happy for. No green fields to get out in. Oh, Ben getting very close on that wall. Very nasty track. As we see, Senna has some damage for his troubles as well. Oh, and he smacks into the wall yet again. I think his understeer is real. Staying out though. So we're catching up to Smith. And Alex is gaining on Smithy. It's been 5.5 laps, and look at Smithy's tire, front right. It is starting to go. And as we see, Alex's tires are way better in comparison. I do know Smithy is still on the pad, but that trophy should be very nice on its tires, so... Just keep it together. Right sides do take a hammering in this on this track. So we see Sean still trying to catch up to Plux. Right side tire isn't looking that bad, to be honest with you. Gadget just keeps on losing up to Sean. Looks like Lorcas is catching up to Gadget now. Oh, look at Lorcas' tire. The other tires are just been spared in comparison. just 6 laps in, and well, starting on the 7th, but looks like Lorcas is trying to go for a move. Well, oh no, as I say that, Lorcas smacks into the wall and gets himself some suspension damage. Let's hope it's light enough for him to continue. Or does he go in? Lorcas goes into the pits. As we see Muller still with damage. Probably light enough for him to keep going. Doesn't seem like he's struggling too much from it. Senna is actually ahead of Ben with damage, so he must have passed Ben somewhere. Ben has luckily gone away from the damage, and see Ben's front right, oh, is way better than what we saw in Smith's tire. Wow, look how much they're scratching the paint. Lorcas comes out behind everyone and down into last. Yeah, look at how bad Smitty's tires compared to Ben. He must be struggling for grip. As we see Drift King Alex just closing in. Flux is staying ahead of Sean. Might not be Flux's best track. He's fallen off very with quite a margin up to the top 2. Oh, that looked harder than it was. Still too far behind Smithy to do anything. Scroll down the field and take a look. Not a lot of battles going on at the moment. Well, we have these two. They're chasing each other. And Ben is dropping off. Lorcas is coming up dangerously behind. We'll follow these two as we see Senna going for a move on the outside. Muller block. Oh, okay. Muller blocks it off. Flux goes in. DJ goes in. As we see Muller dives into the pit. Senna staying out. Ben going in. Wow, look at the tire now. 50% worn, probably. About 50, yeah. Feeling the pressure from the Drift King. Drifty Spice. Oh, they're both going in. Sean in third. We have Plux in fourth. Plux has been into the pit, so he should be passing at least Sean. Oh, scratching the wall. Maybe Plux is a little bit out of focus as we follow these two. the leaders of this race. That little trophy is good in the corners, but the NSX does have the speed. Might just be a couple of laps now, and Alex will be close enough to make a move. As we see Plux gaining a little bit. Maybe the undercut in the pit worked a little bit more to his advantage. And Sean is doing good in fourth so far. Ricey in fifth. Gadget has also been into the pits. Yeah. Since gave damage so far in the race, but when I'm saying that, probably something will happen. As we see Lorca's back in seventh. And Senna goes in. We have Muller. A lot of wall scratching there. Let's hope Ben can dig down deep and get some positions out of this. As we see the top two guys. Smithy has gotten himself a bigger lead down to Alex, and I think that is because of his tires. Now he has fresh tires, fresh attitude, and a fresh tank of nitrous. So he might just pull away from Mr. Alex. All right, as we come back in lap 20 after a new pit stop, we see Drift King Alex in first. So Smith has probably had some damage somewhere and managed to lose his spot to Alex. And Plux, oh, and Plux moles into that wall. Or moles, yeah. Just slams into the wall. Trying to find my words today. Not easy. As we see Sean out on all tires. Right side tire is starting to go. Tire wear isn't that high, but high enough. As we see Ricey. Let's take an onboard look with Ricey for a lap. See how he handles this front-wheel drive beast. Knowing from experience in driving this car for a couple of seasons, I did love it, but the tire wear did become a problem for me, and I couldn't manage it properly. Staying in high gears to save the tires as we see Sean has gone into the pits. Sean comes out in front of Ricey, still staying on soft. Ricey's on the super soft. Not the tire I would want to be on, but Gadget has a few scratches on his car as well, so he's been pushing the limits and scraping the wall. Oh, and we see Lorcas with some rare aero damage. Let's hope it doesn't affect him too much. Speed isn't as important on this track as handling is. Here we have Ben in front of Muller and Senna. Oh, and Muller has some damage again on the right side of his car. Probably smacked one of the walls. Again, very easy to do and very punishing in Tier 1. Just a slight tap on the wrist and you got engine damage and all that. This is just a slight tap on the pinky. As we see Lorcas going into the pits. And Senna has some damage again on the right side, just the same as Muller. So they must have hit the final wall as we see Senna smacking into the wall yet again. Oh. Will he go into the pits? Yeah. Seeing Alex coming through the final corner. I think he's got this quite calm and collected. Smithy catching up. As we all know, this trophy is extreme on... oh, wow. It has an extremely good handling handling capability. Is that the right word? Yeah, I think so. So it should be able to catch up to Alex on the twisties, but on the straight, the little straights that we have, the NSX will pull away. And Plux must not be feeling it tonight, since he hasn't been able to do anything about the top two guys. Maybe he is just biding his time, waiting for the top two to make a mistake, and do this calm and collectively to grab the most amount of points. Sean, very uneventful race so far in P4. I think we can say the same about Ricey. Very uneventful, but we see Gadget catching up. Maybe we can have a battle between these two near the end. 29-ish minutes to go, 28. As we see Ben still ahead of Lorcas, Muller. I think, yeah, Lorcas has been into the pits. Keeps it into the second final corner. This is what's scary about Tier 1. The walls just are too dangerous. As we see Muller going into pits. And Senna is being lapped by Drift King. The Drift King. Let's hope he doesn't get any damage for getting out of anyone's way. Oh, that was the camera isn't working. As we see, Smithy is now catching up to Senna, and look at Smithy's tires. He's really burning them off. Smithy's tires are not happy at the moment. Oh, what was that? Was that Senna? Senna smacked into the wall. We just heard the thump. And now he's got himself some new damage on the right side. Oh, he must be kicking himself for that. Let's hope the car isn't too badly damaged. Maybe he can go on until the next stint. He is in last place, but at least he will get points, a good amount of points, to keep out of the relegation zone. As we see Alex now on worn tires. Well, they are starting to get worn. Lower fuel. And Smithy is running bingo on fuel. Look at the tire wear. And Plux hasn't really been able to do anything. He has had a really passive race so far. Just trying to keep the car on track, I would imagine. He's got some scrapes on his front right bumper, so he's definitely been into the wall a few times, or sideswiped them a little bit. I think it's unavoidable to just touch the walls or the concrete curbs next to the guardrails. I think that's unavoidable, to be honest. But as we can see, Shawnee has a pretty damage-free car. And Ricey, also a very damage-free car, so he's done a good clean race so far. As we see, Alex has gone into the pits with Smith jumping up to P1 again. And Gadget is down to 6th. Right sides are starting to fall off. Not the most exciting race for the Endurance Championship creator. As we see, Ricey also going into the pits. Lorcas should be good for one more stint. Then I'll have to go and change some new boots. So I'm thinking just one more stint for this man. Probably for Ben as well. And Muller with some unfortunate accidents and damage to the right side is down in 9th. I know from driving this track in Tier 2 on my off-season that it is a very difficult track, but as long as you remember where certain corners are, you do take precautions to not try and hit them, but it's not always easy to do. As we've seen, Smithy has gone into the pits, coming out before Sean, and Plux has jumped Smithy. Plux's undercut has worked on Smithy, and Plux is now finally up into P2. Maybe Smithy has had an accident somewhere. Catching up to the action again on lap 34, we have Mr. Drift King Alex about to lap our good friend Ben. Ben has also been into the pits. Oh, Oh, and he scratches that little paint again. And we see Muller catching up to Ben. Nothing Ben can do on with the NSX on that straight, but he also had to let the DK-san just pass on through. Muller is on a charge. He can smell blood from the trophy. And Senna has not gone in what the damage he got earlier, but he is bingo on fuel, so he needs to go in as he smacks the wall yet again. What more can he do now, right? As we see the top two, or top three, going to the pits, Flux and Smith. Smith has more fuel, so who will come out first? Sean is now up into second. And they come out just behind each other, almost ghosting into each other. Oh! We're up for a good battle now. We're up for a good battle as we see Smithy trying to look for a move. Smithy has got to give everything he's got in the tank to get past the champion Plux. Everything he's got. But the NSX is fast down the straight. But the trophy also can manage a good slipstream. Look at how close he is as we see Alex going into the pits with 1% fuel left. Probably going back on Racing Soft as we follow the fight between Plux and Smithy, and Plux almost smacks into the wall from the camera angle, but manages to stay well ahead. Going on board with Smithy. Taking a look, see Smithy's trying to find a kink in Plux's armor, try and get past. Just needs to follow, put on the pressure, make sure Plux does a mistake. And he ends up doing a little tiny micro mistake himself. There basically isn't any challenge on the straight for Plux. It's in the corners and also the most difficult place on the track to pass, where Smithy's car is at its strongest in sector 1. Sector 1 through 2, I believe. Plux is giving everything he's got just to stay ahead of Smithy. Look at how close Smithy is now. We're probably going to miss a couple of fights further down the field, but this is where the action is at the moment. The fight for P2. So we got to stick with these guys. Just look at how close Smithy is to Plux's gearbox. Oh, Plux just covers Smithy off. He knows he has the power down the straight. He knows that Smithy is going to struggle to get past on the straight. But Plux also knows that coming up onto turn 1 after this one, this is where Smithy will be at its strongest. but then again, the track is too narrow for any overtaking opportunities. This is where Smithy will be on Plux's ass and just harass the living hell out of Plux. Just look at this. There's basically not even a centimeter between these guys. They have become one. Plux and Smith have become one. Barely any breathing space between these two. Now we come up to the power bit yet again for the 39th time. This is where Plux will pull away, but then again, the trophy's slipstreaming capability is insanely strong, and he will be right on Plux's behind just another time. Yet again. Let's go so fast. I'm losing losing my will to find words, right words. Plux is really struggling. Plux is, I can just hear Plux now. He just wants Smithy away so he can calm down. It's just 9 minutes to go. Let's hope Plux's crew chief Flo is cheering him on, making sure that he wins this race instead of getting a slap to the back of the head. I don't know how violent she is, but that could be a possibility. Like in Fast and Furious, what's your problem, Beep? You didn't win. And was that Alex? No. I think we heard the engine sound of Muller. Oh, look at this! Look at this! Look at this! Smithy's going on the outside. Will there be? No. Oh. We will follow from Plux's car for one lap. Oh, look at how close this is. I'm pretty sure Plux doesn't like this, but this brings in a hell of a lot of entertainment. The M4R machine really has to show its all today. See how close, see how much Smithy closes in? Whoa! Smithy's car is so extremely good in the corners versus Plux's, but Plux's car isn't that bad either. Does have a lot of grunt on the straight. Now we will see Smithy just reel Plux in. But then again, Plux will use more tires than Smithy. Maybe not. Lorcas goes in. Maybe Smithy has used this prime of the tires right now. He could be coming back. 6 minutes to go. We will go down to the rest of the field just to take a look, quick look, and come back to these two titans. Or will there be a move present? This is Smithy's strongest. So let's take a look. Mr. Sean in 4th. We have DJ Rice in 5th. We have Gadget in 6th, catching up to Ricey. Lorcas in 7th. Pretty uneventful for him. He's getting caught up by... No, Muller is just behind Drift King Alex. As we see Ben right behind Muller. And Senna is way in the back with some more damage on his right side, which seems to be current event for this race today. and come back to the lead. We have Plux going bingo on fuel. We have Smithy with a lot more fuel, but tire wear is looking worse. So we're gonna follow these two to the end. This is where the action is right now. This is not the first time it's been a long battle between Plux and Smith. I remember from Season 2, Round 1 in the GR3 machines at the long Tokyo, one of the Tokyo layouts, where we drove in heavy rain, and Plux was in the Ford GT. Mr. Smith here was in the Lambo GR3, which is an absolute beast, and they were fighting pretty much over 50 minutes the entire way through, and none of them wanted to yield, and I think Smithy at the very last lap had a little bit too much of a spin and lost it down the straight to Plux. But that was one of Plux's hardest races, if I remember him saying that. Just constant battles with Smithy, and Smithy has dropped down a little bit now because of passing Ben. And just look at Smithy's tires; they are starting to follow, so he might not be having enough. He might not have enough grunt to stick with Plux at the moment. But wow. Like our good friend TX141 or Britney Spit usually says, goodness me. And as we see, this section is where Smithy is strongest, and he is right on Plux's butt yet again, right up his freaking back alley, right up his cornhole. Will he be able to make a move, or is this the finishing position for Smithy? Unfortunately, just look at how close he is. He is like a blood-sucking tick that just won't let go of Plux's rear bumper. Sorry for the analogy, but that is the closest one I could figure out. The NSX does pull away a little bit, but Smith is really not letting go of... oh! Just look how squirmy Smithy's car is! Plux must be fuel saving as well. We're coming up to the very last lap, I would imagine. Plux is running low on fuel. Let's hope he has enough in the tank to complete this lap. Let's hope there's not one more lap, as we see Alex on low fuel as well, but he's probably put it into fuel map too. Smithy is really charging now. He knows he has more fuel, but less tires than Plux. As we're coming up on the last minute, but I think these two will have to do one more lap. It is looking like that at the minute. Plux is desperate now for the race to end. We have 50 seconds to go as we see Smithy trying to go for a move on the inside. Oh, he squeezes Plux into the wall. 30 seconds left. Will they make it over another lap? Oh, Plux is screaming for fuel. Smithy has enough fuel. I know he has enough fuel. It will be another lap. Let's hope Plux has enough Bam Bam juice in the tank, and he has to go into the pits and take some more. No! Smithy wins because of Plux's... oh no. Plux didn't have enough fuel to complete. And now he's... oh yeah, we have Ben in the back. Oh no, and Shawnee is the first to finish. Oh, that was so exciting for a while. Now Smithy can finally calm down. Oh. Senna has finished the race as well. Let's follow our good friend Drift King Alex into the finish. DJ Rice has finished. Gadget has finished. Oh, oh wow. The last 20 minutes have been super exciting. The last 15 minutes, I should say. Whew, my voice is starting to break. I know how TX141 now feels. Up to that point, you will see that in next season on his channel as Alex goes over. Alright, that is round 6, ladies and gents, and come back next week for round 7, and have a nice weekend and a nice week. Bye bye.